finally opening for programming. I think we started doing that in March, and it's been a long 2 years, let me tell you. It's really exciting to be back and providing you with great entertainment, again, like we used to do. The movie we are showing is Cyrano. Did I say that right? Cyrano? Cyrano. I always get that one out every single time. Cyrano. And this one is a musical. So we've heard all different versions of Cyrano. You know, the guy with the big nose who's in love with Roxanne, but doesn't feel that he is worthy of her because of his looks. So this one is starring Peter Dinklage, who is a little person. And so he's in the same boat where he doesn't feel he's worthy of Roxanne's love. So that's what this one is about. And it's a musical, and Peter Dinklage played this on stage prior to it being turned into a movie. So that is Monday night, May 16th at 6:30, and we will give you popcorn. So free popcorn and a free movie. The book discussion we are having is Hour of the Witch by Chris Bajalian. And that one is it's kind of a thriller, historical novel, and it's quite good. It's about a woman prior to the Salem witch trials, because a lot of the accusations of witches were happening prior to Salem witch trials also, who was in a horrible marriage, wanted a divorce, well, therefore she must be a witch, right? Why would a woman want a divorce? So it's kind of about how women were treated back then, and what she could possibly ever do, has to be in secret, but what she could do to maybe make her life a little better. The discussion is May 23rd at 6:30. We still have some more books available, and you can check them out at the front desk. We're also doing a banned book club. So there's a lot of talk of banning books, and so Sarah Beth, our director, thought it would be a lot of fun to maybe have people actually read these books. A lot of people who are saying these books aren't worthy to be see or have people read haven't actually read the book. So if you're interested, the first one we are doing is The Absolutely True Diary of a Part-Time Indian by Sherman Alexie. And this story is loosely based on his life, where he is actually a writer, but the child, the high schooler in this one, is an illustrator. He's a Native American boy who decides to go to a white school so he can get a good education, and then he is shunned by both the Native American tribe that he's in and also the white school. So it's a great book. We can talk to you about why it was banned or tried to be banned.
Welcome to...
Sorry. That's okay. And that one's June 14th at 6:30. By mid-May, we'll have the books here and you can pick them up. Summer reading program signing up is going to be happening soon, May 27th from 12:30 to 5 o'clock. You can always sign up after that. This is for all ages, babies to adults. And we have some great things happening for summer reading program. It's Read Beyond the Beaten Path. So we can basically do a lot of things that aren't the ordinary. So that's what we're going to be doing. And we have a great show today. She's ready. It's not there, but I will introduce you now, and then we can take a little breather. She's not ready yet. But today we have Jill Gabrielle, and she has written and produced, and she's performing this one-woman act of Princess Di, Gone But Still Kicking, and it's also a musical. So she'll be playing the piano and singing and everything. So please remember to turn your cell phones off if you can do that. And it is Jill right here.
Welcome to Princess Di, Gone But Still Kicking, an original one-woman musical on Princess Diana, written by, directed by, and starring Jill and Gabrielle. The action takes place in present-day Kensington Palace, London, Her Royal Highness the Princess of Wales' former home, where she has been in residence as a spirit since her death. And she is the age she would be if she were still alive today. Even though Diana would often carry 4 cell phones at a time with her. She was incessantly on the phone. She requests that you silence yours now. Thank you, and enjoy the show. I know what you're thinking. She's dead. And you're right, but unjustly so. So I plead my case before St. Peter, flanked by a number of our beef-eater guards at the gates of heaven. And 7 come 11, he granted my wish to watch my sons as they grow old, and swish my way round Kensington Palace. But in exchange, which I accepted without any malice, I would age as if I were still living. And now I'm haunting the halls of Kensington Palace, guarding my sons as they drink from the chalice. Older and wiser, but still never callous, retired from the lights of the aurora borealis. Yes, I am haunting the halls of Kensington Palace. Wills and Harry and Kate and Meghan, she better beware of a second Armageddon. Charlotte and George and William Cambridge, I love them to pieces in this spooky old famed fridge. And we mustn't forget dear little Archie and Lilibet. Many other spirits are haunting the premises. Among them the Queen Mum, who was my old nemesis, but she mostly resides at her castle of May, petting her dogs and playing croquet. Yay! And I am haunting the halls of Kensington Palace. Guarding my sons as they drink from the chalice. 20-foot ceilings and paintings galore, and large marble archways. Yes, really top drawer. Queen and reindeer, the one from the favorite, and now I'm chained here. But oh, I do savor it. Yes, I am haunting the halls of Kensington Palace. Boom! Thank you all for coming this afternoon to visit Kensington Palace. My boys call it KP for short. I hope you're not too upset at seeing a spectre. I'm sure you all remember me as the People's Princess. And I suppose I was, but first and foremost, I was William and Harry's mother, and they, my sons. And they just happened to be the heirs to the throne of Great Britain. Well, that seems to be in question these days with this Megxit debacle. Oh, that will be the death of me yet. Well, anyway, that's why I'm here, in their residence. Well, it was Harry's residence, in my afterlife. But it's high time I told my side of the story. My family, the Spencers and the Fermoys, understood that the fount of all honor and privilege in the British upper class was the crown. But the Spencers believed we were even grander than the royal family, rooted in the aristocracy since 1508 and definitively more British than the current Greco-German inhabitants of Buckingham Palace. All my life I heard, Diane's going to marry Prince Andrew, Prince Charles's younger brother. They even nicknamed me Duchess in anticipation, Dutch for short. I thought it would be nice if I could be a dancer, or the Princess of Wales. Well, I grew too tall to be a dancer, and we lived next door to the royal family in Sandringham, Norfolk, one of their secondary estates. I made no secret of the fact that I wanted to become a member of the royal family, and I wanted to be married as soon as possible. I was equipped for nothing else. I had failed every single O-level exam, twice. Vicky Spencer, that's me. And since I had decided to become a member of the royal family, I thought I'd better keep myself tidy to prepare for whatever might come. Even during the last quarter of the 20th century, the British subjects wanted their future queen to be a virgin bride. Where was I? Oh, yes, Prince Andrew. You know, the one who's been in the news lately as one of the clients of Jeffrey Epstein. Don't you think Jeffrey was murdered? Well, anyway, I had dismissed Prince Charles because he was a whopping 12 plus years my senior. But then we were finally formally introduced at a party when I was 16, and I thought he was amazing. But God, what a sad man. An older man in a prominent position. Well, my being a fat, podgy, no makeup, unsmart lady, I thought I didn't stand a snowball's chance in hell. And then, by the time I got around to pursuing him, I was still only 19. But I tried every trick in the book. I had no shame, none at all. Whatever Prince Charles was, so was I. Whatever he did, so did I. I would hover. But no matter what I did, he still did not take me seriously. Then I finally bewitched him into viewing me as an object of desire. Thereafter, I let him chase me. I decided to begin my foray into the press when I recognized the tabloid reporter James Whittaker at my sister Jane's wedding. I know who you are. You're the wicked Mr. Whittaker. I'm Jane's baby sister Diana, and I know all about you. Well, Prince Charles loved fishing, and I was happy to spend hours with him by the riverbank in harmonious silence. With the press in proximity, I watched them from my compact mirror. Mind you, I even went along with the prescribed activities from his confidant, Camilla Parker Bowes, whom I disliked and was suspicious of. But I fancied him something rotten. So, the press and I whipped things up a bit. Wouldn't it be nice if Charles married Diana? Wouldn't it be nice? Yes, wouldn't it be nice? The whole British Empire could then shout Hosanna. Wouldn't it be nice? Yes, wouldn't it be nice? The time has come for the prince to be married while he's still young and somewhat unharried. Wouldn't it be nice? Yes, in and counseled the prince. He gave an ultimatum in order to convince. Diana's reputation will suffer denigration if you delay your decision very much longer. You must produce an heir and a spare in order to preserve the firm's welfare. Wouldn't it be nice if Charles married Diana? Wouldn't it be nice? Yes, wouldn't it be nice? The whole British Empire could then shout Hosanna. Wouldn't it be nice? Yes, wouldn't it be nice? The time has come for the prince to be married while he's still young and somewhat unharried. Wouldn't it be nice? Yes, wouldn't it be nice? If Charles doesn't marry Diana, there will be no one suitable left. Charles plucked all of them. Wouldn't it be nice? Yes, wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice? Yes, wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice? With that, the hacks were off in frantic pursuit of me. They had decided that I was the most likely candidate to become queen, thanks to the wicked Mr. Whittaker, whom I nicknamed the Fat Red Tomato. Within a matter of weeks, I was not only on my way to superstardom, excuse me, but also to re-virginization. To the last man and woman the press were willing Lady Diana Spencer to become the Princess of Wales, and that's what ultimately hooked the prince. Finally, in his sitting room in Buckingham Palace, the prince proposed. I said, yes, please, in a gale of giggles. And the die was cast. Then, during Charles and my royal engagement interview, we were asked if we were in love with each other. I answered, of course, but Charles gave his now classic cryptic response, whatever in love means. Well, if that weren't enough of a red flag, a couple of weeks before the wedding, I noticed a small parcel and tore it open. It contained a gold bracelet bearing the initials G and F for Gladys and Fred, Charles and Camilla's pet names for one another. Oh, I was devastated. I rushed upstairs to my sisters Jane and Sarah and roared, I cannot possibly marry this man. Too late, Dutch. Your face is on the tea towels. I was trapped. My body mutinied and my bulimia reared its ugly head. 800 guests joined the royal family for a ball on the eve of the wedding. Charles danced, only once, with his future bride, and all night with Camilla. Afterwards, he and Camilla disappeared and spent the night together. I ate everything I could possibly find and then was sick as a parrot. The morning of the wedding, I was very, very calm, deathly calm. I felt I was a lamb to the slaughter. And as I walked down the aisle at St. Paul's, I was shitting bricks, looking for Camilla. And there she was. Our wedding was truly a fairy tale, with me in that gown, looking very pale. Its 7-meter train nearly drove me insane. All for Charles and me, and Camilla. She sent him cufflinks right after the wedding, which made me saga of Charles and me, and Camilla. Getting ahead of myself. Oh, a typical Vicky Spencer move, I'm afraid. Oh, and one thing I neglected to tell you. When I was living, I was a pianist, and I would often play for my friends. My whole life with Charles was a lie. Truthfully speaking, my idea of paradise was baked beans on toast in front of the telly. I loved food. Oh, I ate and ate and ate. Oh, it was always a great joke. Let's get Diana to have 3 kippers at breakfast and 6 pieces of bread, and I did all of that. My first symptoms of bulimia began in the mid-70s as a way of dealing with my stress and depression. I felt I could have my cake and eat it too. But despite the presence of Camilla and the lies of the royal family, I loved Charles. And I desperately wanted the marriage to work, and I desperately wanted someone to love me. I didn't want Charles to leave. I wanted someone to spend every waking hour with me in never-ending bliss. But I kissed the prince and got the frog. Yes! Dump me like garbage. Leave me on my own again. Run off and have lunch with your precious mummy. What am I supposed to do all day when you're off enjoying yourself? Die of boredom? You call yourself a husband. Some husband you are. He was never in love with me. I didn't know it when I married him, but I can see it now. The honeymoon did not last through the honeymoon. Charles's first priority were to his duties to the firm, his public engagements representing the crown, and soon I had to accompany him. Get up every day at sunrise, going without breakfast on rise. Everybody must get dressed in full royal togs. Hat and gloves are necessary. Yes, I'm just an emissary of the Queen. Oh, by the way, it's raining cats and dogs. Being royal is hard work. I smile through a working lunch and through the crowds. Oh, what a crunch. At least I get to take a bath before the evening grind. Of course, we'll right through our dinner. Oh my God, I'm even thinner. Midnight strikes, my tiara's off, then I can unwind. Being royal is exhausting. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. But when I get out of the car, I know I'm their superstar. And then I eat caviar, and Charles is positively green. Next day, the same thing all over, dressed to kill and all in Chloe. Even though we're sick and tired, we do our royal duty. One more vomit for good measure. Must keep slim the royal treasure. I must say the public really loves this royal beauty. Being royal is exciting. Now smile, smile, smile. Till you're sick. Which is easy for me. I'm sick all the time anyway. I must become one with the crowd and wipe away any cloud. Profess my love for them out loud. Poor Charles is made of granite. And oh, the Princess of Wales has gone right over the rails. And my poor Charles in his tails is on another planet. Being royal is heavenly. I discovered I loved people, and they loved me. I would happily squeeze the hand of an older lady.
Oh.
Or a little child. I refused an umbrella if it rained. Tours are the way royals do what they do. Be seen. In 1982, in 1982, Charles and I visited Canada for 3 weeks. When Charles would get out of the car, people would groan. It hurt his pride, and inevitably he became jealous. No wonder I pollexed them. I was a regular human being. I'm afraid I managed to outshine even the most senior members of the royal family. I became addicted to reading everything that was written about me. The first thing I did every morning was to pore over everything that had been written about me in that day's editions. And if it was positive, I was ecstatic. But if it was negative, I tailspin and bemoan the cruelty of the world. Then I'd hit the telephone and make sure that the journalists I had in my pocket put my side of whatever story I thought needed to be responded to the following day's papers. Unfortunately, I was still being dogged. By my mood swings, bulimia, and depression, to the point of throwing myself down the stairs and injuring myself with sharp objects. But I could always put on my smiling face. Condescending beyond belief, the courtiers had no idea how to handle my illness. They threw doctors and medications at me, hoping it would go away. It didn't. So I decided to take matters into my own hands. I found a psychiatrist who specialized in eating disorders, an astrologer, and a spiritual guide. Little by little, I started to get better. And I found myself spending more and more time with people who were outcast by society. I felt I belonged with them. And then I shattered all semblance of protocol and shook the hands of an AIDS patient. I had once been in danger, and now I was dangerous. The royal family, their courtiers, and their friends all tried to gaslight me. Prince Charles is having an affair with Camilla Parker Bowles. Oh, your Royal Highness, it's all in your imagination. Really? Well, it's common knowledge that Camilla greeted Charles on their first meeting with a searching look and said, "My great-grandmother was the mistress of your great-grandfather. So how about it?" He lost his heart to her, almost at once. Before I came along, and before she was married the first time, Camilla was not considered suitable to marry the indisputable Prince of Wales. Her looks weren't stunning, her lineage not even in the running. And she was no virgin, which finally tipped the scales. So she waited over 30 years to marry him, and now she's willing to do everything but carry him. She's his nanny, his mother, his shrink, and every night she deigns to fix his drink. It took them 8 long years to ready her for marriage, so they would not be ashamed to seat her in a carriage, a facelift, some Botox, and dentistry. Oh, there must be a hell of a chemistry between the sheets. mum to him than I was. Yes, she's sure a better mum to him than me. Oh, she's sure a better mum to him than I was. So Charles must kiss her ring on bended knee. Her dowdy clothes were traded for Versace. Thanks to a top salon, her skin's no longer blotchy. Oh, her figure's what you'd call a bit mature. Yes, she's really got that matronly allure. And she's sure a better mum to him than I was. Yes, she's sure a better mum to him than me. Yeah, she's sure a better mum to him than I was. And she's dumb like a fox, don't you agree? But will she make it till Charles's silver jubilee? When Charles, his staff, were planning Camilla's 50th birthday party, I thought it would be cheeky if I popped out of the cake. He tried to lay a head trip on me, saying that my behavior drove him away. My behavior had nothing to do with it. He was having an affair with that woman all along. That's what caused my behavior. Well, wouldn't you have been disturbed if your husband were having an affair in front of the whole world? The whole point of our marriage was to produce an heir and a spare. And I did that. Well, we did that. In spades. The birth of a child often papers over the cracks in a marriage. And so it proved with us. The first time I ever experienced true happiness was when I held William in my arms. I'd never been that happy before. And I was never that happy after. Until I had Harry. King. man. We wanted a third child, a girl, which perhaps could have resuscitated our marriage, but unbeknownst to me at the time, Charles had made an agreement with his father that if things didn't turn out between us after 5 years of marriage, he could go back to his life as a playboy. He went back to Camilla after less than 2. There were frequent cataclysmic rows, and if we weren't rowing, we were freezing each other out with icy silences. So I harnessed the press to help my causes, and then I used the press to upstage Charles. If he were off to see an African leader, I would be at a big ball and fight them off the headlines. We were the biggest story they'd ever got. It was the love story gone wrong. We hadn't slept together in years. Charles would sooner touch a barge pole than make love to me, and I'd sooner have the barge pole. I was sitting on a powder keg. The question was, would it blow sky high? If it had not been for my spiritual transformation, I would not have had the strength to share my side of our misbegotten marriage with Andrew Morton, the journalist and author. Diana, her true story, was essentially my memoir written in his name and portrayed me as the victim. The storm, when it broke, did more than make the teacups dance. It blew up the facade of royal respectability. For the first time, I slept through the night without sleeping pills. Then came the Squidgy-gate tape and the Camilla-gate tape, which exposed Charles talking to Camilla about wanting to be her tampon. Oh, yuck, of all the disgusting things. Oh, the firm wanted me gone. Oh, they got what they wanted, an heir and despair, and I wanted to get on with my life. But I would never, ever, ever, ever give up my boys. The final straw came with the Panorama interview conducted by Martin Bashir. The woman you saw all in black had come to bury the bride who had all cheered that summer's day those many years ago. 4 weeks later, the Queen wrote to both Charles and me, asking us to divorce as quickly and quietly as possible. Now, she knew about Charles and Camilla for years, but Her Majesty gave her tacit approval to the liaison. Charles knew he was playing with fire. But he needed Camilla. And where is that bugger? There it is. And he barked. I'm not going to be the only Prince of Wales. Oh, here's my top hat. My husband forgot my top hat. Oh. I'm not going to be the only Prince of Wales not to have a mistress. Let me tell you about the upper classes. Lived there all my life, so I should know. We're very, very different from the masses. We like our women dumb and kept in tow. The girls are often sent away to finishing schools. The boys are told to sow their wild oats. They live by two completely sets of rules. Which brings me to this famous old quote. Oh, it's a man's world, and you really can't forget it. It's a man's world, and you may live to regret it. So listen, all you ladies, you're not in Hades. It's a man's world. The women stay at home and produce issue. A fancy way of saying they have kids. And by her side a great big box of tissue. 'Cause the man is out, I'll bet you 10 quid. Polo, cricket, shooting, squash and hunting. Oh yes, he must inspect the yacht. Oh, what a joke. The crew and servants always hear his grunting, no less, as he gives one of his mistresses a poke. Oh, it's a man's world, and you really can't forget it. It's a man's world, and you may live to regret it. So listen, all you ladies, you're not in Hades. It's a man's world. The fairy tale marriage was over before it really began. Oh, at least I got joint custody of William and Harry. In large part, even now, I blame Camilla for destroying our marriage. But looking back, if I had been well and secure, perhaps I could have comforted Charles into staying with me. But as ridiculous as this whole monarchical crisis was between Charles and me, and Camilla, my family, the Spencers, were even more ruthless when it came to their line of succession. After bringing my older sisters Jane and Sarah into the world, my mother, Frances, finally gave birth to a much heralded boy, John, who then tragically died when he was only 11 hours old. I was told that my father, Johnny, lashed out at my mother afterwards, and I don't think they ever got over it. They tried for another boy, and I was born in '61, the girl who was supposed to be a boy. My parents never told me that they loved me, and as a result, I felt unloved and unwanted. My mother finally managed to produce a male heir who survived, my younger brother Charles, not to be confused with Prince Charles. But my parents' marriage could not survive my father's physical abuse of my mother in front of us children, primarily regarding her difficulty in giving him his male heir. If she hadn't managed to produce one, the estate would have reverted to another male heir in another part of the family tree. When I was 6, Mummy had had enough and legged it for greener pastures. Another man. I can still recall her packing her evening dresses into the car and saying, "Darling, I'll come back." I sat on the steps waiting for her to return. She never did. I didn't speak for months. I was 7 when Mommy and Daddy divorced. There were rows and altercations, of course. And being an earl, my daddy prevailed. So it was Mummy who regretfully had to bail. Birds were singing, sun was glistening, bells were ringing, but I wasn't listening. I felt so hated, I was devastated. The day that Mommy left, my world had stopped. My heart was broken, the sun had dropped. My grief unspoken, I was abandoned. I had been branded. The day that Mommy left, oh Mommy dear, you went away, you stole my love. That fateful day, I was safe from harm, torn from your arms. I cried myself to sleep. Never the same, my life had been altered. Filled with shame, my being altered. I loved you so, and then you were gone. My brother and I, we were just pawns. Birds were singing, sun was glistening, bells were ringing, but I wasn't listening. I felt so hated, I was devastated. The day that Mommy left. This not being able to have my mother's love when I needed it created in me an ability to love people no one else wanted to love. I really did need and want to continue to help the less fortunate, do some good in this troubled world. Charles had found his true love. I was still looking for mine. After a number of disastrous relationships with English men, I finally found my true soulmate. Dr. Hosnat Khan, Mr. Wonderful, my British Pakistani heart and lung surgeon. But after 2 years of heaven meeting in secret, we broke up because he said he would have found the media attention. Hell, had we allowed our relationship to mature any longer. I sobbed my heart out. I took up with Dodi Fayed, the Egyptian playboy, at first just to make Hosnat jealous. But Dodi, despite his playboy reputation, treated me like a goddess. He made me laugh, and it was bliss. Behind the scenes, I had been developing a quest. I needed to. I was the Princess of Wales with 2 wonderful boys, and I still felt worthless and miserable. My purpose in life, aside from my boys, became my work with AIDS, cancer, leprosy, and landmines. I decided I wanted to become a workhorse and not a clothes horse. In my travels, I would always go right for the person most in need. I healed myself when I did that, and I believe I brought healing to them as well. And as to the press, I often felt like I was being raped by the paparazzi. I plagued the media like a Stradivarius. But Christ, I couldn't even have a pee without someone watching me going in and coming out of the loo. The press had become a monster that could not be controlled, and I knew I was being reckless, but I couldn't help it. It's a risky business. I'm playing with fire, but it's better than Christmas. I'm a bird on a wire. The public applaud me because the press, they laud me, but it's a risky business, and I hope I don't get burned. We'd like to introduce a princess who's on the loose, who's also a danseuse. Propriety, what the deuce? I'll take my chances. As the press advances, captivating circumstances and provocative romances. They named me Diana, the goddess of the hunt, to summon Fata Morgana, and they wait for my next stunt. It's a risky business. I'm playing with fire, but it's better than Christmas. I'm a bird on a wire, surpassing Jackie O and Marilyn Monroe, but it's a risky business. Oh, it's a risky business. Yes, it's a risky business. And I hope I don't get burned. Then the heavens cracked open and claimed me. I was swallowed by my own celebrity. Dodie, my new man. Oh, I was so desperate to be loved. Harsnott, my true love, had called to warn me against Dodie. He thought he was an unsavory character. I felt torn between the two of them, wanting to be with Harsnott, who had rejected me, yet loving my time with Dodie. During the crash, my body was thrashed around so severely that my heart was ripped from its moorings in my chest. I literally died of a broken heart. And as my consciousness slipped slowly away, all I could think about was William and Harry. They were being denied their mother's love as I had been. Oh, what a travesty. I couldn't leave them. I loved them too much. I willed my spirit here just to be near. If I had been wearing a seatbelt, I would have survived with little injury. And in a strange quirk of fate, my mentor, Mother Teresa, died the day before my funeral. She would say to me, better to burn in this life than in the next. And even princesses cry. I regret not becoming queen. I was already the most famous woman in the world who was being mentored by Mother Teresa. And because of my life and death, the monarchy had finally been dragged kicking and screaming into the 20th and 21st centuries. But they seem to be imploding themselves now. Harry, do we really need this Hollywood nonsense? God save the Queen. I cherished my reign as Princess of Wales. Her Royal Highness, till my marriage did fail. The mother to the heirs of the British throne, my William and Harry will set the proper tone. Charles raised them both with love and devotion. And my William will be ready for his ultimate promotion. So I raise my glass of sparkling sarsaparilla to a brief future reign of Charles and Camilla. The contest for the public I indeed won handily. I'm still more popular than the royal family. The British Empire, from London to Ghana, still live in the shadow of a Queen Diana. Just one regret I need to share. So learn from my mistakes and beware. Always fasten your seatbelt. It's really the thing to do. Yes, always fasten your seatbelt. One click and you're in like glue. So resist an attack of the lazies, or you might find yourself pushing up daisies. Always fasten your seatbelt so you won't meet your Waterloo like I did. And now I'm haunting the halls of Kensington Palace. Ooh, ooh, boo. Thank you all for coming today and sharing with me my love for Princess Diana. Are there people who have questions about the show, about Princess Di, about anything? Because I pretty much know just about everything there is to know about Princess Diana.
How long have you been doing this?
This show or?
This show.
Couple years. I broke onto the scene right before COVID hit, and then when COVID hit, everything disappeared. And then after that, I came back when things were opening up, and has been hitting it hard since then. This is one of 5 shows that I have. This was the 4th of 5, and since then I've created another new show on Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis. So I've been doing this show quite a bit, especially lately. There's been a lot of people that have been hungry for Diana. So, other questions? Nobody has any questions?
I do.
Yes.
Do you do your research like through reading and movies?
Well, I do use videos, but it's more for entertainment. Most of my research comes in books. I don't use the library because I have to own the books and mark them up. So, but I bought this many books, but a lot of those are Kindles. I also use Kindles because then I can carry it around with me and just read on the go. And then I have someone else whom I hire to transcribe all of those notes to get them in usable form so that I can bat them around and then decide what the story is that I'm telling. And as I go along with my writing and research process, I decide which topics need to be songs. And I start writing the lyrics for them, and then I start writing the music as soon as I feel inspired to write the music. And then I keep finishing the research, and then I finally put the book, which is the story, together. So for me, it's lyrics, music, and then the book. And then it takes a couple months to memorize it and get it all up in me. And then I have to orchestrate the tracks. So these are players who play on Chicago and Broadway in Chicago. We have a series called Chicago on Broadway in Chicago. And so they're the guys who do that, and then we're lucky enough to snag some of them and put them on, and they help create the tracks because I just have the chords and the melody and I can play them, not as well as the pianist that I hire, but I can play them. But I hire a great pianist, and then I hire a great person who plays wind instruments, and then a violinist. Then my husband, God bless him, does all of the bass parts and percussion to finish it out so that each piece is complete and sounds like a little ensemble. It's not a full orchestra, but it's a small ensemble. And that takes a while, but it's a lot of fun. It's painstaking, but it's a lot of fun, and I think we get some good results. We have a lot of fun doing it.
You're out of Chicago?
Yes. I used to live in the city of Chicago, but we couldn't afford to live there anymore. And I'm glad we moved because it's too much crime. So we moved to Crystal Lake, which is about an hour outside of Chicago. It's beautiful. It's like it is here, away from people. But we still have a lot of shopping, and it's an hour to get there. And if I need to go, where I teach, and I go down there, and I also play in churches and sing. So I'm close enough to do what I want and then get out. And then I still, well, not during COVID, I haven't, but go to New York and Los Angeles. Because there's a lot, to be honest, there's a lot more action in New York and Los Angeles than in Chicago. Yeah. Especially in entertainment, yes.
Did Diana's estate continue to support her causes, like landmines and AIDS and such?
I think her sons got her estate, and I think her sons have their emphasis on what they, mostly mental illness. They're really into mental illness because they feel that Diana suffered, and she did. And Harry has the same problems, and that's why he's in the mess that he's in with Meghan. And I don't think that Diana would approve of Meghan at all. But I don't know specifically about that situation that you asked, but I think her sons probably have total control of what's going on, and they probably would have had respect for her wishes, whatever that was. So, yes.
Why do you think she went like Meghan?
So I think Meghan is a big-time opportunist, and I think she's a liar, and I think that she's manipulative of Harry, and I think that Diana would have seen through that like crazy. And I think if she had been alive, I don't think Harry would have been as screwed up as he is, and I think that she would have prevented that marriage from happening. I don't like Meghan. Can you tell? Can you tell? And most people that I run into don't like her either. So it is what it is.
So these other solo musicals, you play Hedda Hopper
Yes, ma'am.
and Greta Garbo,
Yes, ma'am.
and
And in Greta Garbo, I play 3 characters, Greta and 2 of her long-term lovers, 1 male, 1 female. So it's very cute. It's like Victoria, similar to that, very cute. And then Joan Crawford, Betty Davis, I play them at the same time in the same body in Purgatory. Kind of like a Robin Williams moment where I'm back and forth all the time. And then Jackie O. And Jackie was a mimic, so I mimic everybody in her life in that show, including Jack and other people, and the old man, his father. And Jackie is a lot more fun than you think. Jackie was quite a character, very eye-opening. I love playing Jackie. And there are rumors that I will be back in the area in November. So I will be calling you. I don't know if you will book me, but I will be calling you. And I think that I would probably be doing Jackie at the time. And she's a lot of fun, and it's very eye-opening, but you would be getting the hour, well, it's 70 minutes, but it's not the scandalous version. It's very mild. Like this one, there's a little more scandal in the larger version. So I try and dumb down a little bit so that nobody is offended. But when you come to a theatrical version of the show, no holes are barred. So, other questions, comments?
So it sounds like you work all the time.
I try.
For fun.
I try to do. Well, I have a wonderful husband, like I said, and he's also a musician, and he also writes, and he has a top-of-the-line mature rock band with people that he works with all over the country, and they're always releasing things, and they're building a following, and it's pretty fabulous what he's doing, and he helps me with my work, and he's here with me now, and so, you know, my husband is a terrific addition to my life. What do I do for fun?
You did
I have
well
friends.
as an English lady.
I did well as an English lady?
Yes.
I try. I want to go to England with this show, but I think I would have to make some revisions to it because I'm not sure. I think some of what I tell you, I would not need to tell them.
Yeah.
But telling you guys, I don't want to leave anything out because I want you all to get it. I think some of the show could be cut and I could put in other things when I go to England. So, but first I'm going to take Jackie there because they kind of they own Diana in their minds, and I don't think they'd be open to an American playing her, but they might after they see me play Jackie. And it's all good. Everything's good. I love everything. I love everybody except Megan. And I'm very grateful for working at libraries. I would love to be in theaters. I want to be on Broadway. I'm finishing a 7-part limited series on Hedda Hopper, the outrageous Hollywood gossip columnist in the hats, for a producer in Hollywood, so keep your fingers crossed, because I'll get to play some sort of part in that. And they want Glenn Close for Hedda Hopper. So, I mean, you can't get any better than Glenn Close. I've seen her on Broadway, she's fabulous. And I would love Glenn Close to be in my shows on Broadway, and then I would understudy her. So that's, I hope, what God has in mind for me. And, but in the meantime, I'm here. Having fun at Any more questions? Yes?
What are your favorite musicals?
Oh, well, I love Sondheim. And I've seen just about everything there is to see on Broadway. I mean, I have a stack like this of Broadway shows. And opera. I've seen a lot of opera. I would say, yeah, Sondheim's pretty fabulous. Kander and Ebb's pretty fabulous. But I'm so into my own shows these days that I kind of have tunnel vision, but I do see other works. but then it all goes into my thing. It's like, oh yeah, I can do that. Oh yeah. So you really have to be a little crazy to do what I do. You really have to be so focused that everything, it's like a vacuum. Everything goes in there and never comes out. It gets lost. There was another question?
I was just going to say, can you imagine Princess Di this day and age with VR, with Apple iWatch? And, I mean, you're able to transfer.
Oh, well, she was a master of PR. She was considered the greatest PR agent on the planet at that time. And who knows what would have happened with her. She might have also just said, screw it, I'm out of here. I'm just going to retire and be with my grandchildren. You know, who knows what would have happened. But she had so many wonderful things that she did to help people. I mean, it could have transformed the planet. Maybe we wouldn't even have this war over in Ukraine. I mean, who knows? She was cut off way too early. And some people think the monarchy killed her. I don't say that because I want to live beyond my next birthday. So I keep it, you know, her admitting to her mistakes, you know, which I think is a safe way to do it. Because she did make mistakes and she knew she made them. So may she rest in peace. And may all of you have a wonderful afternoon. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you all for coming. Drive safely home. Thank you, SMU, for taping this. And thank you, Jill, Gabrielle, for putting on a great production.